Okay, let's break down into the health risk realities, what's really going on, and 4 areas to explore to be really clear. And here your medical team is invaluable. Hi, Kathy again, and welcome to this navigational platform that helps you understand what is going on in your own reality. Each video across this platform describes so much between how to and what not to, but within this section, we're looking closely at the 3 pillars or the 3 realities that form any constructive decision. And those to think about really before moving forward. In my career, I guided and assisted thousands of elders, families, providers. I've written and published multiple books, spoken at various conferences, workshops. And to me, my most important role was that of a family caregiver. In fact, I now run retreats for family caregivers and professionals on the front line. Yeah, believe me, the systems are kind of toxic, but the individuals working within them are just as burnt out. I know how the games are played, and I know how to play the game. We're in a time where aging, or the aging process, now collides with economic realities, workforce shortages, and systems that were never designed for this level of complexity. Think about it. Do you believe that you'll make a thoughtful, informed care decision when the time comes? You won't. You'll be rushed. You'll be pressured, and you'll be moved through systems designed to prioritize speed, occupancy, and revenue. No, this is not your failure. It's not your family's failure. It's not an individual failure. It's just how the systems operate. So, my decision-making framework takes these 3 risk areas, health reality, financial situation, and housing paths, and distills them into a simple decision-making process to slow the rush and think through the options. Remember, if you are not given options, you are not being guided, you are being directed. There is always more than one option, unless you are in the emergency room in a critical situation and the medical team then is directing you. But anything else, there are options. If you don't understand that going in, you won't realize you're being led, and you'll think you're choosing. The real issue here is you're not making a decision. You're entering a pathway. The health event, the fall, the hospitalization, the significant cognitive decline, you're suddenly pulled into what feels like a decision point. But most of the time, it isn't. It's a default pathway. Hospital discharge team, move quickly. Referral partners present one option, their own, as the only option. Community cell availability is solutions, and services are framed as complete answers, and they are not. While it all sounds helpful at the time, some of it is, but much of it is financially driven. If you don't understand how the money flows, you won't understand why decisions unfold the way they do. And again, I say this all over the place. Let me repeat. If you do not understand why decisions unfold the way they do, if you don't understand how the money flows, then you're going to end up somewhere you do not want to be. So, my whole purpose here, passion, is to help shift you from being sold to thinking clearly. Understand what you're choosing. My role is to help you see that every major aging decision, whether you realize it or not, comes down and fits into one of these 3 realities, health, finance, or housing. So let's take a closer look at health. What's actually happening and the risk that are involved here. So most salespeople miss the single most important truth in elder care planning. If you misread the health reality, every decision built on it will fail. This is not an exaggeration. It is the structural flaw underneath most poor placements, unrealistic promises, failed home care plans, and family meltdowns. I've been involved with all of these personally and professionally. Sales teams talk about amenities, pricing, levels of care, and availability. You and your loved ones talk about hope, fear, and what you wish was true. Meanwhile, the actual clinical, medical, functional reality, the only things that determine if a plan will work, is barely touched. This area of health, in how I go at it, reframes this blind spot and shows you why health reality is the foundation for every conversation. So if you don't know, ask. Ask what is actually happening. Not what you hope, not what any salesperson assumes, not what any discharge summary vaguely implies. What is medically, functionally, and cognitively true for me or my loved one right now? And trajectory. What is most likely going to happen next? Salespeople skip this step because it feels clinical, or they assume you already know, or they fake it when they don't know. Be careful here. Be very careful here. Do not get caught in these traps. When you build a plan on incomplete or outdated health information, the entire care journey collapses, oftentimes in crisis. So here are 4 practical realities under health that determine whether your solution or your plan going forward is safe, sustainable, and appropriate. The first one is medical reality. Here you're operating with a mix of assumptions, often outdated diagnoses, wishful thinking. The online medical record is really accurate or updated, but it is helpful. It is helpful if you know how to work around it. What you need clarity on is what diagnoses, more than one, actually exist, not what someone casually mentioned. What is stable versus actively changing? What is reversible versus being progressive or getting worse? If you don't have answers to these questions, you cannot match it to the right level of care or anticipate what's coming. Here, the medical team is invaluable. Here is where you go for these answers. People who know you, who understand the medical and functional complexity. And that's number 2, functional status, activities of daily living, personal care needs. Most sales conversations fall short here. You might say she's doing okay, but okay could mean she can't bathe safely, she needs help dressing, she's transferring with difficulty, eating inconsistently. So, what assistance is needed today? Ask yourself, how quickly are things changing? Is the trend stable, declining, fluctuating? There is a difference between a workable plan and a future crisis. So get the functional reality, how well the person is able to manage their personal care needs clear. This opens the door to a lot of other different types of services, as well as supports the medical. And again, your health team is a great resource here. Cognitive is the third. The cognitive reality determines safety, whether someone needs supervision, when, how long, and long-term viability. Viability means where are they going to probably house? Is memory impaired? Judgment intact? Can they make decisions and follow through? Are we looking at early, moderate, or advanced impairment? Misreading cognition is one of the fastest ways to place someone in the wrong setting. Again, your healthcare team is invaluable here. Now we look at care requirements, now that we have a better understanding. And here's where the rubber meets the road. Does your loved one need skilled care, custodial care, or supervision? How often? How intensely? What times of the day? What cannot be safely managed without support? Do not follow the advice of anyone unable to answer these questions, or you end up listening to people who overpromise and underdeliver. And finally, in this area, the missing piece, trajectory. We talked about this in the introduction. Here's the truth most families never consider or discuss, and it's critical. You're not planning just for today, you're planning for the next 3, 6, 12 months out. Ask, what's most likely to change? What event will trigger escalation, such as a fall or hospitalization? Are we building a plan that holds, or one that collapses with the next predictable event? If you don't understand trajectory, you're being sold a temporary solution disguised as a long-term plan. So, know the difference between planning crisis, two different worlds. Planning mode, and this is what's in the middle here. In the planning mode, you can stabilize, you can delay decline, build support early, prevent emergencies. In crisis mode, you must quickly determine, is this temporary? Or is this the new baseline? If you misread this health reality, know that every decision built on it will fail.